guys, and welcome back to my channel. Can anyone believe that we are starting Fall Food Friday today? Can you believe it? Where has the time gone? Alright guys, I'm so glad you're here today. I'm going to make a soup that's brand new to me, and I don't know about you, but we love to eat soup in the fall and winter. So to find a new soup, I was pretty excited about that. Someone shared a picture of this soup on Facebook. I had to look it up. It looks fairly easy, and it's called Chicken Alfredo Tortellini Soup. Kind of reminds me a bit of a chicken gnocchi soup, which we love, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna like this one. Like I said, it looks easy enough. I think it's gonna be quick, and I'm gonna show you that recipe. If you haven't had this, comment down below. If you have, you can comment down below too and tell me what your family thinks about it. All right, let's get on into this recipe.
First things first, I'm going to use 1 boneless, skinless chicken breast. The recipe calls for 1 pound. I'm going to use this one. Going to get it all trimmed up, and I'm going to dice it into pretty small pieces. I later break it up a little bit more with my wooden spoon as it's cooking, but I want it pretty small so it won't take real long to cook, and that there won't be big pieces of chicken to bite into. After this is all trimmed up, to my smaller soup kettle, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to get the chicken in there so we can get that sauteed up. I'm putting it in unseasoned right now. You want to be careful with the soup that has chicken broth and cheese that you don't get things too salty in the beginning. So I'm not salting or seasoning this chicken in any way. I'm just going to fry it up here in the butter and get it all cooked through. Next, we're going in with some veggies. So we have carrot, onion, and garlic. This is 1 pretty large carrot. And you guys, I am never without onion, and I say that really truthfully, never. And I do have onion, just red onion, no white onion. I did not even know I had used my last one. So I'm using minced onion, and it did not hinder this soup in any way by not having real onion. And then instead of garlic clove, which is really crazy, but I'm just using garlic powder. Honestly, my garlic press was in the dishwasher and I didn't want to fool with it, just being honest. So garlic powder came to my rescue. Again, didn't hurt the soup in any way. So those are in, stirred around, kind of cooked a little bit together there and softened a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with just a little bit of salt and some pepper per the recipe. And then you're going to add in your flour, so about 1/4 cup of flour, and this is going to be your thickener for this soup. Now, I will say you could have held off on the salt. I'm following the recipe with that, and it was not too salty, but you want to be careful with the salt for sure because you're adding this. For example, I am adding in my chicken stock now. It calls for 4 cups, and I always just use the dry chicken base, the dry bouillon. So I'm adding that here to 4 cups of water, giving it a good stir. This is a salty product, and then you're going to add cheese into this, which is also salty. So you could have omitted the salt. If you tend to like things a little bit less salty, I would say omit the salt. But like I said, it was not too salty. So yeah, okay, so broth is in. And we will just stir this together, kind of get everything incorporated and let it cook just a little bit here to kind of get going. And then we're going to move on to some other really good ingredients in this soup. All right, I think it's 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. And it did not add heat, it just added flavor. And of course this recipe will be typed out down below, or the link will be down below, so you can check that out if you want to make it. Now it does call for spinach. Instead of spinach, I'm using some kale. We had this from our garden in the freezer, so I decided to use what I had and put the kale in there. Now for the tortellini. It is frozen tortellini. You can also use fresh, but you use about 9 ounces is what the recipe calls for. So I used about half of this bag, but in future, I would probably just double this whole soup and make a big pot so we could eat on it for leftovers. We loved it. I don't think I've said that yet. So in goes the tortellini, and it doesn't cook for long. All right, in the meantime, guys, I want to show you this. I'm going to also show you a recipe for snickerdoodles. Look at this little cookbook. How cute is this? I'm going to tell you about this cookbook. See the date there, May 1974? This was my mom's little cookbook, a gift from a friend of hers. She used to be a part of it was called Tops Club. It was a kind of like a weight loss, similar to like Weight Watchers type situation. And this gal there made her this for her birthday, and it's full of all kinds of cute little typed out recipes. So what I've done, when I got married, my mom gave this to me. And so before even getting married, started writing some recipes in here. And so I have had this Ryan's Snickerdoodle recipe since I was in high school. And it is so good. I would make it pretty often. I'm just showing you here some of the sweet recipes that I have in here that are from friends and from family. A lot of my mom's recipes in here that I hand wrote in here back in the day. But this snickerdoodle recipe I've been making since high school, and people would actually request this. I had a lady who kind of ordered them every year from me. She's like, I want you to make those snickerdoodles for my company work Christmas party. So I would make those for her. So I'm going to show you these snickerdoodles, and I think you're going to love them. All right, back to the soup. Now that everything is cooked, and those tortellini do not take any time at all, maybe 4 minutes or so. The recipe calls for Parmesan cheese. I think it's 8 ounces or so. I think I had this 6-ounce bag. It says to add it in half at a time, just to kind of make sure it gets really melted down and it doesn't take long. And look at this. Oh my goodness gracious. This is so good, you guys. This soup, so good. So the cheese is kind of in there. Look at the broth. It's thickened. Those wonderful colorful vegetables in there. Like I said, if you like a chicken gnocchi soup, you would like this one because it is so similar in flavor at least. Okay, so here is my butter. I decided since my oven was heating up and the stovetop was warm, I set my butter for my cookies back here in this crock bowl that I love so much and let that start softening from the heat from the stove there. So look at this soup. I've just reduced the heat, and I was feeling old school garlic bread tonight, like old school garlic bread. I love this stuff. That's probably why I don't buy it very often. So just using my pizza cutter here to get this all cut up. That's literally all we had for dinner was this soup and garlic bread, and we needed nothing more. It was so hearty, so delicious. Look at this, you guys. Oh my goodness gracious. This was so good. I'm not even kidding. I am so happy to have a brand new soup recipe to enjoy this fall and winter. I really hope you guys give this one a try. If you do, make sure you come back and tell me. We loved it. It was so easy, quick to put together. I think this one is a winner. Okay, let's get on to those cookies. You see my butter here is now all softened. Now, if you looked at the recipe, you saw that it called for shortening. You can sub out the shortening for butter. You just use, if it's like a cup of shortening, you use a cup and 2 tablespoons of butter. It's an easy switch, and I just didn't have any shortening this time. So I just used butter, and then, like I said, that's an easy swap. So butter, eggs, sugar, and look how creamy this mixture is. It's so soft and just very, very creamy. And just by looking at this, you can get an idea of what these cookies taste like. Buttery, very, very tender, delicious cookies. All right, in goes the flour, and then you just want to make, you can make them whatever size you want. I normally make them a little smaller than this, but about golf ball size. And so you can see here that my cookie dough is not completely mixed. I don't want to over mix it, so I just mix it till it's pretty well incorporated, and then as I reach in with my fork or your hand, whatever you do to get out the balls, I just make sure I get it incorporated as I'm rolling them up. Okay, here's my cinnamon sugar mixture, this little jar. If you've been around here long, you heard me talk about it. I have twin sons. They made this in kindergarten. There was 2 little jars, and it had cinnamon sugar in it, and it says that on the front. So sweet. And so I still have one, and our twins will be 28 in December. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I have children that are 28 years old. What in the world? But anyway, let's get back to the cookies. You want to roll those in the cinnamon sugar mixture, put them on your pan. They bake for, I think, about 9 to 10 minutes. They are like little pillows of wonderful goodness. These are so good. They're never fail, at least for me. An easy, tried and true recipe. And I made these because my husband, Sweet James, he had been wanting some cookies. And he and our sons and several men from our church had been on a huge hike in Minnesota, like a 30-mile hike. It was a big one over a weekend. And I made him some cookies. Look at these. Oh my goodness, he loved them so much. This is such a good cookie. I hope you give this recipe a try as well. And I'm just going to sample one. Taste it and see how yummy it is.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you coming by every single time. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you. I do a lot of food content on my channel. I'm getting real close to 8,000 subscribers. If you would hit that subscribe button and get me over the hump, boy, I would appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and come back next week. I'm gonna try my best to participate every week with something yummy that you can maybe add to your fall food list. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.